And just a few weeks ago, we finally got to the point to where we felt we could safely reopen with the distanced seating and the different safety precautions. But we're so glad you came out. Thank you for coming out and supporting the theater during these times. It really means a lot. Thank you so much. We're going to have a great time. We committed to, when we reopened a few weeks ago, to doing 4 weeks of an experiment to see how it would go, to see how the audience responded, if people would even show up. It's been a great experience for us, so we're excited. You all are here. This is the closing weekend of the Savannah Cabaret. You're also here actually on a very special night at the theater. Tonight, I'm happy to say that the Savannah Theater has partnered with a wonderful organization here in the Savannah area called the United Way. I'm sure many of you are familiar with United Way, certainly heard of the United Way. Absolutely. If you're like me, up until a couple years ago, I'd obviously heard a lot about the United Way, but wasn't all that familiar with exactly what they did. And when I came to find out just how many programs they supported and how much they do for this community, I was amazed. And so tonight we've got some staff and volunteers here from the United Way. We've got the president, Bryn Grant, right here on the front row. Absolutely. We also have the 2020 chairman, Chief Terry Enoch, is with us here in the front row. Let's give him a round of applause. I'm actually going to bring him up on stage right now, if you don't mind, Terry, because I'm going to let him explain in more detail what the United Way is doing, because he can talk about it a lot better than I can. So please welcome Chief Terry Enoch, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Matt. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Let's give Matt and Michelle a round of applause. Wow. Thank you guys for what you do. Let me just tell you, I have just tremendous stage fright. Before I agreed to come up on stage, I spent about an hour with my therapist, and I'm like, what if I get up there and I faint or something like that, right? And so my therapist told me, he gave me some pointers, and it really depends on you on how well I do up here. So it requires just a little bit of audience participation. Can I get that tonight?
Yeah.
Just a little bit? So one of the things you do before you come to a big show like this is make sure the blood is circulating, right? So I want everybody to stand. Can you do that for me? Can you just stand? My therapist told me that this would work. And if you just do this, everyone just stand. If you can stand, if you can't, it's okay. If you cannot stand, I want you to stay seated, because you can do something with your arms. So if you could everyone just raise their arms like this? Okay, now I want you to keep your arms about this far, and then I know you have masks on, and some of you don't. So here's what I'm going to do. Now I told my therapist if I do this, I'll take a picture and I will send it back to him. And if you just stay right there, I'm almost there. And so I'm taking this picture of you. You guys are just absolutely amazing. You look gorgeous. Thank you so much. I had my thumb on that one, so some of you will have a thumb right in front of your face. Okay. All right. And you smile. Now, I want you to kind of close your hands together. Okay. All right. Stay. All right. Everybody be seated, please. Thank you so much. Give yourself a round of applause.
Good job, everybody.
Wow. Now, I'm going to tell you the real reason behind that. So I told my therapist, I said, you know what? I'm going to do a great job. And when I leave, they're going to be standing, giving me a standing ovation and clapping their hands. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for that standing ovation. The first thing I want to do is I want to thank Matt and Michelle. I'm going to give you a big thank you from the United Way. They do a tremendous job, as you see tonight. It takes a lot of work to open up. And back in March, due to this pandemic, you guys closed down. And when you opened up your doors, the first thing you thought about was the United Way. And tonight, $1 for every ticket that's sold is going to United Way. And when you think about that, isn't that huge? And that's going to go on throughout the entire campaign. And not only do that generosity and this whole Savannah Theater team, they volunteer as well. I saw some pictures here recently, Michelle and 2 little girls, her daughter, I think, you have 2 girls? Yeah. They were actually had their wagon going around through the community, door to door, asking for donations. You see, that's how you mobilize the caring power in our community. There are so many families that's been impacted by this pandemic. You know, when you look at some of the data, over 120,000 individuals and families throughout this coastal region were already struggling, working 2 or 3 jobs. This pandemic has just been terrible. Families are finding it hard just to meet the basic needs, finding it hard to pay their mortgage, to pay their rent, to keep their lights on. Just basic things, you know, to get health care, access to child care. It's tough, but you know what? I thank God that we have an organization that we all can unite together, the United Way of the Coastal Empire. It is a platform that's been here for over 82 years, a place that all of us can unite together to make sure we take care of the most vulnerable, children and families. And so tonight, we are dedicating this show, and this show has been dedicated to the United Way. Thanks to Matt and Michelle and the Savannah Theater team. I thank you so much for what you're doing. And so one of the things we do, we've been doing throughout the community, we award what we call our work hat, right? So our work hat is given to businesses who find creative ways to engage our customers, their customers, to make donations to the United Way. And so the work hat is about going out in the community, engaging, raising funds so we can do the great work we can do. You see, the only way to get through this pandemic is do it united. We were united 82 years ago. We are united now, and we will always be united. You know, what we do now will determine what type of community we'll have when we get out of this pandemic. You know, right now, y'all agree with that? Right now, we're working on money for next year so that when families have a need, they have a place to go. You know, for the first time, we're paying mortgages. You know, just the other day, I was in Pembroke, Georgia, and there was this mobile pantry, food pantry out there. And there were families, our friends and neighbors, who had lost jobs, who actually had jobs that were doing pretty good. But all of a sudden, they're thinking about, how am I going to feed these families? But you know what? We have the United Way, a place that we can create that safety net for our friends and family. And so I thank you for being here tonight. I want to make a special presentation. Is Michelle here? If Michelle can come up on stage. I have our work hats.
Michelle.
Oh my gosh, Michelle. So Michelle, you're familiar with this. You've been with us as we've awarded these work hats.
Trade that hat.
They represent the great work that we do in the community.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we put those on. Let's give them a round of applause. Tonight we have our staff, we have a lot of our volunteers. United Way is a great place to volunteer. You want to know how you can help? Here's what you can do. One, by being here tonight is a big help. But you can go to UWCE.org and you can make a donation there. I can tell you, some of us can give a little, some can give a lot, but every dollar counts. And the way that we get through this pandemic is that we have full participation. You know, our goal this year is over $8 million for the whole coastal empire. That's a lot of money. As a matter of fact, it was our goal last year. But here's what we said. We didn't use the same formula that we used for fundraising. We based this goal this year on need. We knew last year we needed $8 million. This year the need is even greater. So here's what we said. That's the baseline, is $8 million. Families need us and children need us more than ever before. So when I got the call to come volunteer, I couldn't pick a better place to spend my time advocating on behalf of children and family. And that's what I'm doing on stage tonight. I'm asking on behalf of families in our community. I'm asking that you give. And if you do that, I know that we're surviving. I can feel hope. You know, our theme this year is blue. It's sky blue. Sky blue represents hope. You know, the kind of hope that even though when it's cloudy, we know that hope is still there. And so your donations help spread hope throughout the coastal empire. And we thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I know we're going to have an outstanding show tonight. And thank you for Michelle and Matt for what you do.
Let's hear it for Chief Terry Enoch, ladies and gentlemen. I'm wearing this hat too. I'm gonna keep this thing on. Thank you guys so much. It really is a special night, and it's such a privilege to just to be able to help in a small way to help the United Way reach their goals. They really do so much for this community. So hopefully you guys will think about donating to the United Way, and you can find out more about that. Michelle's actually going to be down during intermission. If you need to find out more about what the United Way does, come talk to her. But are you guys ready to have fun tonight? Yeah. All right. Like Chief Terry Enoch said, our show thrives on audience participation, and that is where you come in. We want you guys to have fun tonight. If you're enjoying yourselves, make as much noise as you would like. Feel free to sing along with us. If you know the words to these songs, you can sing along even if you don't know the words, because we can't tell sometimes if you're singing the right words. So just have fun with us tonight. We're going to practice real quick. We want to hear how loud you're going to get. If you hear a song you really enjoy, we want you to make some noise like this. Alright, that's pretty good. I think we can do a little bit better. If you guys hear a song you really enjoy, we want you to make some noise like this. Alright, you guys are ready. You know there's a saying in showbiz that the show must go on, and that's what we're doing here tonight. So if you're ready, sit back, relax, and enjoy as we present the Savannah Cabaret.